Hey everyone, Chris Murphy here with Fort Collins Fellas and Patrick Soukup. We are going to be tackling everybody's favorite topic in Fort Collins, and that is the brewery scene in Fort Collins. So Patrick and I wanted to do this for a little bit now, and we're going to dive into our favorite breweries, under the radar breweries, and obviously some of the staples that we have here in the community that everybody knows about. So, Patrick, I am going to toss it over to you, my friend. I know you've got one in particular that you want to talk about, and let's fire away. I should have my beer here. That's the one thing I forgot. That's all right. It's still early.
It's a little early, but
Yeah.
it's one of the things that I've talked about in actually my one of my YouTube videos is how the beer culture here is so different than maybe when our parents were growing up, and you belly up to a bar and you were there with like the intention of getting drunk. Comparatively to today, you go to have a beer for lunch over a business, lunch, and it's kind of just as well a beer or a coffee, and you're there for the taste and like kind of friendship comparatively to the getting drunk aspect. So I don't know if there is a too early
It's true.
for a beer here in Fort Collins.
Like I'm going to Italy here next week, so it's kind of a very European vibe we're talking about. Hey, they'll be drinking more wine there, but anyways.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I hope you're gonna have a good time. That's will be exciting for you.
It'll be great.
Well, for me, obviously growing up in Fort Collins and then, turning 21, you're just excited to go explore the bars downtown, but then also go and hit the breweries. It's something to do. There's a lot of events. You go down to Denver, but that's something that Fort Collins is definitely unique for, or not necessarily anymore, because so many small communities have all these beer or breweries and beer tours and brewery tours. But you'd hit up the New Belgiums, the Odells. But for me, working down in Old Town for the last 10 years, I'd hold so many business meetings at Coopersmith's. And Coopersmith's has been there for, they're celebrating 30 years down in Old Town. And their beer is good. Their food is good. I wouldn't necessarily say either one is like great by any means. Like it's not going to knock you away. But for me, it's the vibe. And I like going down there because if you're talking about what is the heart of Fort Collins, you're in Old Town, and what better place to spend an afternoon than sitting on their back patio, watching the fountains go, people walking around, shopping, enjoying the spring, summer atmosphere and fall, weather. So for me, it's Coopersmith's, and I'm kind of a Kolsch guy that likes kind of a little bit lighter beers. I am kind of exploring IPAs. I know I'm kind of late to the game, but for me, it's Coopersmith's. And on top of their beers, if you like soda or at least something sweet, they have a phenomenal cream soda and phenomenal root beer. So you've got to try it, and you've got to test that out if you're there, on top of having a beer.
No, and real quick, they own the pool hall right next to it, right?
They do, yeah. So
okay.
They own a pub. They call it pub side and pool side.
That's right. Yeah, I remember I was about to say as a kid, but like, when we were younger, everybody, you got your full disclosure, you got a nice fake ID. You go in there and you play pool and you drink some beer. So, and 20 years later, I can just divulge that. But no, I love Coopersmith. You're right. In terms of like, if you just come to Fort Collins and you're down in Old Town in that back patio, that is killer. No, I'm with you. And that I think we shot our logo or some of our photos for our Fort Collins Fellas outside Coopersmith.
Enjoyed a beer together and
that's right.
Some pictures.
I love it. So Patrick, I got a couple of breweries I'm going to mention as well, and I kind of got these broken down into like a favorite for a certain kind of thing. So if you're coming to town and you got kids and you want to go to a brewery, Intersect Brewery. Have you been there, by the way? You got 3 kids.
I have, for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and agreed. Definitely agreed with that back patio, kind of protected parking area.
Yeah, it's kind of in a weird like little shopping center, but they got kids. They have games for kids and everything like that. So I checked off Intersect Brewery as my go-to for kids. One of the ones I wanted to mention too on here was Equinox. And Equinox is actually real close to Coopersmith. It's right down in Old Town. And one of the cool little features there is, you won't see their beer on tap really anywhere in town except for there. And the rumor is they only deliver their beer by bike. So literally, like if you're going to have like an Equinox beer outside Equinox, it's got to be within some distance where somebody's going to bike like a 12-pack over to some other restaurant or brewery. So I would strongly recommend Equinox. They also have a great back patio, and they do live music in the summertime. So
yeah, and good, they always got a food truck or, options for tacos or something, nearby. So
yep.
definitely a fun place to hit.
Next one I'm going to bring up for our listeners from a food standpoint. This was actually brought up in our last podcast, but Black Bottle for food. Shout out to Sean Nook, lifelong friend of mine and the family, and I love them to death. But some of the best food, I think, at any brewery. Black Bottle.
Flatbread pizzas. So good.
And that's a Midtown one right there.
And you also have Music City Chicken right next door, which is phenomenal.
Yes, and you got the Edwards Cigar Shop. So there's a great little run right there if you want to get a cigar, a piece of chicken, and a beer.
Which is interesting. that strip mall was like such a blighted place in Fort Collins for so many years. And I know Les Kaplan's he has like a hotel approved for that location through city, but is on like indefinite hold because when they got the approval, COVID was just starting. And so City of Fort Collins approved it. They're like all the plans are set for like this big hotel right there.
God, I hope that happens.
But right now there's just an empty Chuck E. Cheese's with a pothole filled parking lot, which is like one of the worst parking lots in Fort Collins.
It's the worst. It is the worst parking lot in Fort Collins, hands down.
It is. So you've got a list of breweries there that you kind of want to see what we've been to and checked off.
All right, I'm going to go. You just tell me if you've been to the brewery and we'll see who wins our brewery challenge here or who's the bigger degenerate. Okay, here we go. We're going to start off. This is obviously a no-brainer, but Anheuser-Busch.
Been there, seen the Clydesdales. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. Black Bottle Brewery, we just talked about.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we're tied right now. Coopersmiths, we just talked about. So we're right there. All right. Now we're going to get into, here we go. Okay. The Crooked, is it Stavy Artisan Beer Project?
Crooked Stav at the Exchange.
Yeah. Have you been there?
I have not. And which is sad because like a buddy of mine, Reed Tynan, he plays music there and I have not been.
Either have I. So that one is definitely, we got to put that on our list. And I think what we should do for our listeners is we should make sure we hit these ones that we haven't been to.
That'd be good.
Okay, next up, DC Oaks. And if you're in the real estate business and you haven't been to DC Oaks, then
DC Oaks is has been a solid little location for us on the southeast side of town. Us Southies over here in Fort Collins love hitting up some DC Oaks.
And also shout out to Gerard, who owns DC Oaks and Penrose, the new one. They're kind of in Old Town. So DC Oaks, definitely a good one. Envy. I have not been to Envy.
Never even have heard of it.
All right, we're both tied at 4. All right, Envy. Next one up, Equinox Brewing. I love Equinox. We just talked about it.
Yep.
Have you been there?
I have. Yeah, I know it's okay. It's a good little one. I haven't. I talked about the food and the tacos, but definitely it was more of some drunken nights that we'd kind of end up at Equinox, but it's not open too late.
It's not too late. And they do have, I think, some like good like ciders or something like that as well. They got some good stuff there. All right, next one. And this one I love. I used to live right there at Funkworks. Got to shout out to Funkworks.
I have not been to Funkworks.
All right.
Sad to say, now I've had some over at Horse and Dragon. Sad Panda, but I have not made the trek over to Funkworks. That's just like a stone's throw away, basically.
They got a great saison. I think I'm saying that right. Saison at Funkworks. So, and I hosted a networking group there years ago before COVID. So
I like their branding too. Like I love their brand. I don't know why I haven't checked it out.
Great branding. Okay, next one. This one was mentioned, by the way, Patrick, when I was talking to a few friends about under the radar ones. Mm-hmm. Gilded Goat.
Oh, I have. Yeah, we actually used to hold a real estate group there at Gilded Goat, and they've got like a cool mezzanine, kind of private. And then they're trying to extend their patio right now. They're going through the city to try to extend their patio. So yes, Gilded Goat, solid over there by Trader Joe's.
It's right over by Trader Joe's. Yeah, my brother, who's a big beer drinker, was mentioning that if there was a better location, more people would know about it. But anyways, Gilded Goat.
Yeah, maybe once McQueenie's get done with their renovation of the mall and put more additional apartments, maybe that's the long play for Gilded Goat.
I like it. Here we are. We're gonna start helping the marketing on these places. Okay, next up, Horse and Dragon. We just mentioned that Horse and Dragon.
Horse and Dragon might have a new location again. Going through the city development right now for a place over there off of Sherwood and Maple. That would be a pretty cool little place. I think it would be converted auto shop or auto repair mechanic place into a new brewery and tap room for them.
Okay, I did not know that. And if anybody's tried to get to Horse and Dragon, is in the back of a commercial development. It is kind of a pain in the butt to get to.
Yeah.
Intersect Brewing, we just mentioned them.
Yep.
Okay, just a little recap on our score here. I am up 9-8.
Okay.
So there we are right now. Okay, now next one. I have been to this one, the Jessup Farm Barrel House.
No, I mean, I that's not the farmhouse. That's not they're
No,
exclusive.
In Jessup Farm, it's got that. There's a bunch of different buildings there. It's the one on the far east. It's a unique thing. It's 133-year-old. It's a 3,000 square foot restored barn.
Oh shoot, that's cool.
100. You got to check that one out. It's in a 133-year-old barn. I didn't know it was that old. Okay, next one. I used to go here all the time when I just got into the lending business. It's really great. This brewery, each member of the company dedicates 6 hours a month to volunteering to non-profits or sustainable farms. Maxline Brewery. Maxline.
Not been there.
It's a great one. And it's right by the Maxline, hence the name. It's a good one.
Go.
This next one, Patrick, I never even heard of. McClellan's Brewing Company.
No.
You know that one? Okay, McClellan's. So, shout out to them. Sorry, we don't have much information on them. There's a lot of breweries in Fort Collins.
There is a lot of breweries, that's for sure.
And I got a couple more. We'll get through this. Okay, New Belgium. Obviously, we've all been to New Belgium.
Where are you at with New Belgium or Odell's? And does it depend on if you're going there to sit on the patio or going there to drink beer?
I'm Odell.
Okay.
I'm Odell.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm not a huge Fat Tire fan.
Really? I have a slight aversion to Fat Tire only because when I was in high school, I played beer pong with Fat Tire.
Oh God.
It's a terrible idea.
Terrible idea. No. Yeah, I'm an Odell all the way. They're actually next. So we just talked about Odell and my earpods are falling out. Obstacle Brewing and Grill.
Nope.
I've never heard of them either. Okay. These next couple right here, we're getting down to a few I want to mention. Purpose Brewing. I have never been to Purpose.
Nope.
Okay. Rally King.
Yes, I've been, and I know you were talking about wanting to go, but it's right by my workout, right by Fort Collins Club. So we're hit the workout and then go have a beer.
Is that where Dungeons and Drafts used to be?
Yes, which I never went to Dungeons and Drafts, but I mean, it looked fun, but just not my vibe.
It was a total beer nerd hangout, but it was great. I've been there once, and you literally could play board games and drink beer and get wasted.
Right.
So that was a great one. Yeah, Dungeons and Drafts. Okay, this is the one that came up probably the most, and probably is, I would say, the most popular right now, but stodgy.
Love it.
And just so for people that are familiar with this, just opened up in 2020. It is founded in an old, what was the building that they took over? It used to be like
firewood, right?
Firewood. And I was reading about this last night, but they have probably the second best patio outside Odell, maybe in town.
And they opened at like the perfect time as far as during COVID, because they have this huge, it's like a patio lawn type deal that's massive. So you can go, when COVID was happening, I had clients come in from Boston and we went and spent time there, and there was just this massive area that you didn't have to sit by, or too close, I should say, to anybody. And yeah, good vibe in a part of town that doesn't really have too much to offer. So it really, was needed.
That is on, I'm literally going to do that sometime. I think I might even go this weekend. That is on my to-do list. All right, we're going to round it out for Colorado State. Obviously, we have Colorado State University here at Fort Collins, and you cannot have a brewery. You can't not have a brewery on CSU campus. And there is one called the Ramskeller. Haven't been there, but for all the CSU people out there, the Ramskeller is an on-campus brewery that includes a full-scale brewing operation.
Yes, because there's if I remember correctly, I'm pretty certain New Belgium and CSU have teamed up to create basically a brewer's degree at CSU, and they do a lot of that on campus at CSU. And Ramskeller is definitely a spot to go grab a drink after you're done studying or while you're studying.
I love it. I'm making a quick note right here because I'm going to mention something. Snowbank. I got to mention Snowbank. It's a great brewery. Not a lot of people know about it. It's on North LeMay.
Well, right next to that is the Stillwater. Is that what it's called now?
It's funny. Stillwater's not on this list because they took over Red Truck. So yes, it's right by. Right by. Have you been to Snowbank?
No, I've not been to Snowbank.
Yeah. It's a good one. Last one on this list I'm looking at is Zwei.
Oh, I was wondering if you're going to say that. Honestly, I love Zwei because it's right down the road for me. I go to Zwei all the time. You know, family friends were a part of kind of the starting of it, and yeah, solid little brewery there. Terrible parking, terrible access to it though. Like once you get awesome, but terrible. Like, where do I park? How do I get there? And weird.
I'm with you on the parking. They also do have food trucks there. That's why. Usually there's a food truck right outside. That's really great. No surprise, the drunk Irishman here wins this breakdown 13-10. But
I got 3 kids that are keeping me.
I don't have any kids, so if I don't win this, then I got actually a bigger problem than you do. Hey, I gotta mention real quick as we wrap up our brewery one. There's a couple bars in town that have probably the best beer selection of anywhere I've ever been to. And the first one is Tap and Handle. Tap and Handle is on College, right by the Philly cheesesteak place. Have you been to Tap and Handle?
Yeah. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's like a weird, almost like a cottage type house.
Dude, it's a great building, but they have over 100 beers on tap.
I didn't know.
And I gotta shout out to my brother who loves it there. He had his thing, and he actually does his own podcast called There Will Be Books. They've got over 100 episodes. So anyways, Tap and Handle. The last thing I was going to mention was Choice City Deli. If you ever get a chance to go to Choice City Deli, you walk in on the right-hand side, there's a little bar, maybe 5 seats at most. Yep. They've got some of the best beer around. Now, it's not all local, but yeah, Choice City Deli is fantastic.
And solid Buffalo Reuben.
And an amazing Buffalo Reuben.
Yeah.
So that is our brew. I think I'm sure we missed a couple because they're always one opening up every couple of days here. But yeah, that's the brewery list.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. We should definitely try to get one of these owners on.
I think it'd be great. Yeah, honestly, even like a small one, kind of what the vibes are of competing against so many breweries. And even like our one of the guests that we had, Kurt, he's got just kind of his watering hole. And I think we have kind of those around town.
No, and we got to obviously, I think, give a shout out to like the New Belgium and No Doubt, because they really, they
paved the way.
They paved the way, and they allowed for like the Sean at Black Bottle and some of these others. Oh, one thing I want to mention too before we wrap this up: Stodgy Brewing, the one we were just talking about, 100% Colorado grown ingredients. So their beers are all 100%. The ingredients are all 100% from Colorado, which I thought was awesome.
That is awesome.
Very cool. Well, that wraps up our brewery tour for Fort College Fellas. I love it too. Well, Patrick, we'll see everybody here back next time, but I hope you guys had a great time, and make sure you check off these breweries if you haven't been. I know I have a few that I got to knock off my list.
Yeah, if you guys go and you check out Cooper Smith's and you have a root beer, or cream soda, or a Columbine Kolsch, let us know.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, buddy. See ya.